Hey everybody, Eddie J on crypto. I hope you're having a great day. I've got 7 things to talk about. Admittedly, one of them is just an annoyance. I'll leave it there. You'll know which one I'm talking about. Australia is definitely cracking down on the crypto space a little bit, specifically on influencers, or what they're calling finfluencers, right? People that blog or do podcasts about crypto tech, and what to buy and all that kind of stuff. And they're saying, nope, you're supposed to be licensed, and if you're not, you'd better go fix your content. So that means whatever you say going forward, plus whatever you said in the past, go fix it, or you could be in big trouble. On the good side, Crypto.com out of nowhere cut a deal with On the Run, and On the Run is about to be Australia's largest physical retailer to accept cryptocurrencies as payment. That's food, fuel, services, whatever. They're going to accept crypto for it, and it should begin in July. Singapore. Can you be any more iron-fisted? So shockingly, I'm not shocked. And I'll get into why I'm not shocked later. But Singapore must have said something to DBS, the CEO of DBS, and they basically said, yeah, remember that crypto trading desk we were talking about? I think I mentioned this like late March. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. So interesting move. Wonder why. Ring. Digihost Technology, one of the first Bitcoin miners, obviously publicly traded, to offer dividends. Here's what's cool. They're going to pay out those dividends if you want, either in cash or Bitcoin. Kind of cool. The SEC and the Commodity Future Trading Commission could be in a turf war. Or at least that's what the CEO and co-founder of FTX, based in the Bahamas, is hoping for, because he is lobbying like nobody's business. So we'll get into all that. But here's my annoyance. Should I say it now or should I just wait till... skip it. I'll say it now. Freaking DOGE moved 9% today just because Elon said, I'm buying 9.2% of freaking Twitter. Nothing to do with the coin. Nothing. He just bought 9.2% of Twitter. Yes, that's more than Jack Dorsey. He owns about 2%, 2 to 3%, something like that. But they're passive shares. I think that's a shot across the bow. But that's just me. We'll see if he transfers that, changes that SEC filing from a 13, I think, G to a 13D, and then that would be a sign that there could possibly be a takeover event. But we'll see. But we'll get into all that. I'm just saying, you really, the coin moves on. Just have a woosah moment, right? But let's get into Australia. This is some really interesting stuff. So it's not that Australia is against crypto. They're against scammers. This is cool stuff. There's a fine line that any regulator has to walk with, stopping scams, or at least, slowing them down, identifying scammers, and allowing people to do what they want to do with their money. So it's a little bit of a broad stroke, but they're kind of saying, well, if you're advising people on what to buy, what products or services to use, specifically, you are an advisor. And if you're an advisor, you need to be licensed. Kind of makes sense. It's basically the same thing in the United States. If I were to give advice on what you were supposed to do, I would have to go get licensed. I don't give advice on what you're supposed to do. I deliver to you what's going through my head about what I might do, and the conversations I'm having with my kids about what's going on in the space. Just because I'm the only one on camera does not mean that they're not doing their own research, because that's what I teach them. That's what I'm trying to share with you. But I'm not mad about Australia's move. I think something has to happen. There are too many scammers out there. You can't depend on the platforms, upon which they are doing these scams to police them all. So there's got to be some kind of rules on the books. It might not stop them, but it might make a few people go, maybe I shouldn't do that, because they really are looking into this, and it's a very big deal. On the other side, which is really cool news, On the Run, which is one of their largest retailers, in Australia, they're basically a tiny little grocery store, as opposed to, major, big stores physically. They've got 170 locations across Australia. Doesn't sound like a lot because Australia is huge, but 170 locations, that's big. I don't care what anybody says. That's a lot. But imagine you're going to be able to pay beginning in July with this deal with crypto.com. Like, what? It didn't get released as a crypto.com press release, right? It got released in Australia as an On the Run press release. Wow. That's big reach, and that's a big move. A really big move. Hats off. But the parent company, Peregrine Corporation, also said they've got 3 different franchises. They've got Subway, Oporto, and Smokemart. So not only are they going to do this with those locations, meaning On the Run, OTR, but they're also going to do it across all of those locations. Yeah, that's kind of big. That really is kind of big. That's really slick, because it shows that Binance and Coinbase are not the only ones, FTX are not the only ones making global moves. Crypto.com is making global moves. I don't think it's really gotten out there yet. So I haven't seen any movement in the coin yet, and we'll look at the numbers a little bit later, but I haven't seen any big movement yet. Excuse me. So I wonder if it's going to hit at some point. That's what I'm expecting. Coinbase. Now, this is really interesting. Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, is going to go to India, I believe on the 7th of this month, a couple of days from now. And it's to promote crypto, right? And it's not just to promote crypto in terms of adoption, but it's also to say that, hey, we're going to make a major investment in crypto and Web3 startups in India. Yeah, I know. Some of you are smart. You're scratching your head because you've seen my other videos where I was talking about India's been going through a serious freaking brain drain because of all their rules and heavy-handedness toward crypto. I understand Coinbase's move, and I'm thinking that, the CEO must be pondering, well, if I go there and I speak with the government and I make these, we make these investments and we keep trying, maybe eventually change will happen. Hats off to you, bud. Seriously, hats off. Hopefully somebody in India kind of goes, well, we kind of have, a financial and economic, strategy, and maybe crypto and Web3 can help. Maybe we need to adjust some of our regulation. Maybe we've gone a little bit too far. 30% too far. Yeah, that's a reference to that 30% hammer on taxes. Sorry, I know that was bad. But that's I think Coinbase going there is going to be a big deal. So DBS, I believe I think they're Singapore's largest bank. Their CEO, what's his name? I have him in my notes here. I think Again, I'm apologizing up front. If I trash your name, please call me up, send me an email, smoke signals, whatever. I apologize now. I think it's Piyush Gupta, CEO of DBS, now is saying that the regulators, are rightly concerned when it comes to crypto. Back in February, I had said, they had said, I think I reported on it, that they were interested in creating a crypto trading desk. Well, that announcement was made, and then nothing else happened. Well, here's the other shoe. I wonder if somebody made a phone call. Ring, ring. Hey. No, let's not do. Why? Because trading desk done. Nope. They nixed it with a quickness. So Basically no movement on that on developing the trading desk, and now here's an announcement saying, yeah, about that. Interesting. So, like I said before, if you squeeze an egg too hard, it oozes between your fingers, and all that's left is a mess. Singapore is squeezing really hard. I mean, when I say iron fist, wow. And I, you can't really be surprised, right? And the reason why is because Singapore is a huge global financial hub. Seriously. Technology-wise, services, they're a serious financial hub. But it's traditional finance. Let that wash over you for a minute. It's traditional finance. So that means that, yeah, they're not really going to play along really all that nicely with crypto. I'm hoping that somebody wakes up and goes, yeah, that might not be such a good idea. Because at some point, you're going to have to figure that out. Other countries, smaller countries, are figuring it out. They might not be getting it totally right, but they're figuring it out. They're not just coming across with an iron fist and saying no. I think, with everything that's going on in Ukraine, Russia's stupid war, remember that? They've proven that crypto can be helpful, can be useful, and can be immediate. Let's hope something goes on in Singapore that makes them wake up. Digihost Technology. This is awesome. This is, to me, it's awesome. It really is one of the coolest things. They're going to pay dividends in Bitcoin. As a shareholder, you can elect to be paid either in cash or Bitcoin. What? I need to go get some of this. I do. They can actually, so they're mining, and I think they can mine up to 120 Bitcoin per month. That's a lot of dough. That's some scratch. They've increased their hash rate, and they're pumping out, they got 10%, or they're expecting to pump out 10% of net income in dividends. What? Yeah. That's a really nice number. Expected to. Eventually, the board will have to make the final decision on what that's going to be, but that's what's expected. Wow. But I think that's a really cool thing, and I wonder if others are going to follow suit, because that would be really interesting. Because that would get people that are in the space, or on the fringe of the space, in the space, and I wonder how they would pay that out. But I still think that's crazy cool. Now, the CEO and co-founder of FTX, what's his name again? He's gonna kill me. Sorry, it's Sam. Let me just look it up because I don't want to get it wrong. Sam Bankman-Fried, otherwise known as SBF. Had to look that up real quick. He's been a fixture around DC. And he's been a fixture around DC, Washington, DC, that is, because he is lobbying, not to the SEC, but to some lawmakers, but also to regulators in the Commodity Future Trading Commission, or CFTC. Why? Because he believes that they would have a softer touch on crypto, and that they have actual control over the domain and not the SEC. Now, if that were true, that would kind of explain why the SEC has been real slow in doing things and taking a very heavy-handed approach, action-wise, not regulation-wise, against crypto, right? I mean, Commodity Future Trading Commission. Future. Sounds about right. So imagine if that little turf war were true, and it is happening. There are people in Washington that are saying, hey, crypto is a good thing for us. We didn't move correctly when it came to Web 1.0. We didn't move correctly when it came to Web 2.0. We're taking a long time with a lot of things. Think, marijuana. Think a lot of things. And the SEC has been catching a lot of heat over a lot of their moves. So that's something for us to pay attention to and keep an eye out on, is what happens there. This last bit you might not want to listen to. It's just a rant. Sorry. But I'm annoyed. I'm really annoyed. Doge moved about 9% today. I don't know if it maintained. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I was annoyed just reading that it moved 9% just because Elon Musk has purchased 9.2% of passive shares. He filed a 13G with the SEC to purchase passive shares of Twitter. Doge moves. Elon breathes, Doge moves. Yes, I do hold a little bit of Doge. But where's the utility in that? Seriously, just Elon breathes, Doge moves. But where's your usefulness? Are you doing anything? Nope. I hope it does, right? I hope it moves away from being, moves from being away from being a meme stock, a meme crypto. But moves like that make me wonder. I won't talk about how the creator of Doge screamed about, Shibverse and what Shiba Inu team is doing. Because that was a serious rant. It's like, dude, okay, you did make a lot of money off of Doge and Doge blew up. I get it, but wow. Just do a search on that, and you'll see just how much he was not happy about it. But I'm just annoyed that a coin would move based on something that has nothing to do with it. Now that's a micro event for Twitter. You could even say it's a macro event for the social media space, given what Elon wants to do with regard to free speech. And the only thing I could think of was thinking about Elon and free speech, and people should be able to say what they want to say. And, Twitter has, their rules and regulations about it. The only thing I can think of was, forcing Twitter to give the Orange Oompa Loompa back his account. No. It's fake news. I would not go for that. But just that a coin would move on something like that just screams, yeah, we're a meme coin. Because I would rather see Doge move 90% because they're doing something really cool as a project, or a DApp is joining or something else like that. I'd rather see it move like that. I'm hoping that happens. But for now, that's my rant. Let's get to the numbers because the day's been kind of cool. So I just wanted to take a look at Bitcoin. It's still bouncing between that space. You can see, a few days ago, it took that dip right here, to below 45 where we didn't want it, but it's back up, to about 46,518, which is what it says now. So again, we're just bouncing within a space. And if you look, stair step, bam, stair step, bam, stair step, bam, stair step, stair step. Everything's just kind of bouncing along, then bam, bouncing along, bam. I think I've been saying it for a few weeks now. I think there's a lot of pent up energy, positive energy toward, the crypto space. And I think things are bubbling that are not going to be able to be held back, even though there's a global macro event that's affecting just about everything with Russia's stupid war. But it is what it is. Fear and greed index still in the neutral territory, but we're at 53 now. And at 53, you're kind of like, wow, that's pretty close to neutral. Well, pretty close to greed. Yeah, pretty close to greed. You see all this pent up energy? I just see it as this is serious pent up energy. I think eventually it's going to explode upward. When? Wouldn't be able to tell you. Don't know. Nobody knows. I'm not a wizard. I can't look into the future. And if I could, I still wouldn't tell you. Looking at, the crypto space in general, again, it's still bouncing along a certain path, certain pattern, but I'm seeing that, there's a lot of red going on, and I'm sitting here and I'm saying, if I have all that red, if I see all that red, I'm going to want to jump in. Luna at 117, it's a breath away from its high of 118. It's either 118 or 121. I forget which one, but it's recently hit that. It's recently created that. So yeah, pay attention to opportunities where you can see growth. Luna, I think, is going to continue to grow just because of everything that's going on. And you're going to see it bunny hop other coins as it already has. And I'll show you where that is. So if you're looking at bunny hops, look at where it is now. Terra Luna at number 7. I believe XRP was number 7. It bunny hopped all of these guys to get there. And if it keeps rocking along, it could really happen to Solana too. They keep going like this for a little bit, but you can see that happening. It's moving, and it's been moving for a long time. And I can just see that. I mean, Solana is a great layer 1, and it's doing things. So, I mean, being in the top 10 is no easy feat. Being in the top 10 of, all layer 1s, everything out there, that is no easy feat. It's not easy. Like I said, I keep telling you that, having a market cap, almost everybody's got a market cap below 1 billion. Then when you hit 1 billion, getting to 2 billion is crazy hard. 2 billion and above, and now you're sitting back and you're going, oh, okay. Take that in context. Look at just the volume of some of these. Binance, their volume is 2 billion. Their volume is 2 billion. Let's be real. So imagine what it takes to become 2 billion. And just because you're in the 2 billion space does not mean that you're all that. You still have a long way to go. It just means that at 2 billion, people start to take you far more serious than if you're just at a couple hundred million, right? So just something to think about. I hope this information is helpful to you. I know it's been helpful for my kids as I continue to try to teach them about finances, especially crypto. If it is helpful to you, do me a favor. I'd greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and definitely hit the bell so that you get a notification of whenever I drop a new video. Also, drop a comment and let me know if you've got questions about things. I think my next talk I've dropped 2 so far. One about wallets, and what was the other one? One about wallets, and the other one about NFTs. I'm about to drop another one about oracles. Again, I keep telling you about all this connective tissue. Wallets are connective tissue. Believe it or not, they are connective tissue. Oracles are connective tissue. NFTs, whether you choose to believe it or not, are also connective tissue, depending on what they're being used for. And I don't just mean connective tissue between platforms and things like this, but I mean like connective tissue between the crypto world and the real world. Depending on what you're doing, that's big. But anyway, again, hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it. Subscribe. Definitely hit the notification bell. Have a great day. Bye-bye.